So we can define the term theory. A theory is a careful throughout explanation. See? So this is all about explanation, throughout explanation. Throughout explanation for observation. For observation of the natural world that has been constructed using the scientific method and which brings together many facts and hypotheses, which bring together many facts and the hypothesis. So a theory is a careful throughout explanation for observation of the natural world, not man-made, that has been constructed using the scientific method, and which brings together many facts and hypotheses. Or you can define also a theory. A theory is a formal idea or set of ideas that is intended to explain something. So theory simply is explanations about something. So when you say that, it means that with these definitions, we mean about theory in the context of something, right? Not theory in context of maybe characteristics of particular, or maybe results of a particular experiments about something. Are we together? So when we explain something theoretically by using explanations, that is what we call theory. So electronic theory actually those are the explanations which are explaining about electronic devices, electronic components, electronic system, etc. Are we together?
Yes.
So in other words, and especially in engineering, we need this definition that a theory, say theory.
Theory.
Say theory.
Theory.
Is a formal idea. When you say formal idea, for example, if you want to know a theory of a diode, then your knowledge about a theory of a diode is formal, because everybody who would like to know or to learn about the theory of a diode will learn about what you have learned. That's what the meanings of formal. So there are explanations that explaining about a diode. So that is intended to explain something. So theory is a formal idea or set of ideas. It can be one idea or set of ideas that are intended to explain about what? To explain about something. So for example, you want to learn a theory of transistors. So you'll find explanations that explain about transistors. We call it formal because that the theory, for example, the theory of diode we are learning Tanzania is the same with the theory of diode being learned in Japan. That means so formal, right? If it is informal, some things may be different from one place to another place, or from one person to another person, or from one industry to another industry. Okay? Are we together?
Yes.
Okay, so the seventh terminology is practical. The word practical, sometimes in some of the books, you can find practical is including S, practicals. Yes, I have a question? So now it means that after defining the meanings of theory, now you can define what the meanings of electronic is theory, because our focus here is about electronics. I will be defining the terminology of practical. I'll be giving you just definition, but also you have to know that you will be focusing on experimentation, but you have an assignment to know electronics practicals. Okay, welcome, Mr. Adrian. Do you have a question?
My question was,
Speak loudly, please, because there is an online community who want to hear your question.
my question was about the...
Speak loudly. Your question, okay, so your question, just go straight forward. You want to ask about what?
Electrons.
Electrons. Electron theory or electronic theory?
Electrons theory.
So ask it.
I want to explain it
You want to explain the meanings of electronic theory?
from you.
From me?
Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome.
You explain it to us.
You want me to explain to you about what electronic theories? Okay, so we can define, so you see that, we can say that electronic theory is the theory, or say that the form idea or set of ideas that are, or that is intended to explain about electronics system, electronics devices, electronics equipments, and systems. When you want to define electrical theories or electrical theory, it means that the form or set of ideas that are intended to explain about electrical system, electrical devices, electrical components, electrical equipments, and electrical systems. Okay? So I think that I've explained to you already. Okay, so this also is not a new terminology for you. We used to have this terminology even in science. The terminology is called the practical. So I'll be giving you short definitions of practicals, or the word practical, because it's a straightforward terminology. So practical is relating. So the word practical is relating. The practical is relating to what is real. What is real, rather than what is real, rather than to what is possible. What is possible, what is possible or imagined. So practical is relating to what is real rather than what is possible or imagined. That's the simple definition of practical. So practical, what does it mean? Actually, give us a reality. Learn about reality of something rather than what is possible to be done, rather than what is imagined to be done. For example, you want to learn about practicals of diodes, right? You have to learn about the reality or functionality of the diode. You should not, at the end of that practical, of those practicals, should not have a sentence that also it is possible for a diode to do something. You have to sit, you have to practice, you have to see whether the diode can perform that task. For example, we used to say that, or you've been taught theoretically that a diode conveyed the alternating current into DC current. Is it?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Means that converting alternating currents into unidirectional current. Right? So whenever I have a diode, I have alternating current. I have to expect to see what alternating, what the directing current. So when I say that I'm doing the practical, I have to see it practically. I should not be imagining that whenever you have a general purpose diode, it can convey DC, AC to DC. No, I have to see it. And then I should say that this diode can convey it, because that is what about possibility, ability, or how possible it is to do that response, that activity. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you talk about maybe practicals of transistors, you have to make sure that you are learning about the reality of the transistor, what a transistor can do, what are the functions of the transistors. For example, if you say that, okay, transistor can be overheated, so you should not have a phrase that a transistor can be overheated. You have to overheat it and see whether it is overheated or not. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but unfortunately, the way we learn engineering, we used to learn in terms of possibility and imagination. Imagine a resistor. It can limit your current. Imagine a capacitor. It can store what? Charge. Imagine an inductor. It can store what? Electrical energy. Right?
Yes.
Imagine a diode. It can rectify what? Voltage. Huh? Imagine a light empty diode. It can give light when electric energy is being what? Supplied. Imagine a speaker that it can give out sound when the input is there. Are we together?
Yes.
Remember that science is a theoretical and practical subject, right? Remember that engineering is a practical and theoretical subject. Or in other words, we say that practical is concerned. Practical is concerned with the application of knowledge. Aha. So applications of knowledge. You have knowledge about transistors. You have knowledge about diodes. What are the applications? To useful ends. Useful ends, rather than the theory or speculation. Rather than the theory or speculation. So practical concerns with applications of what? Knowledge. Say knowledge.
Knowledge.
So applications of knowledge, we call it wisdom. But knowledge should be understood first. And that's what we have the word understanding. And then applications of knowledge is what we call it wisdom. Do you know the relationship between knowledge, understanding, and wisdom? Wisdom. You know the relationship between knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, or you don't know? Because you went to Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology to seek for knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. So you know the difference between them, because it can be you have been looking for something that you don't know what the difference is. Jamani, kuna msemo hivi kwamba okay. Kuna msemo mmoja sema elimu ni ufunguo wa nini?
Maisha.
Hivi ikiwa na ufunguo wa huu mlango, si ndio? Utanisaidia nini? Kuingia humu ndani. Ndio ule ufunguo utanisaidia kuishi humu ndani. Kwa hiyo kumbe elimu sio maisha.
Ni maisha.
Jamani, mnaofikiri na yeye mnaofikiri yani?
Sawa. Elimu ni maisha.
Hapana. Nimekupa mfano. Unakubaliana hiyo sentence tumeikuta kama moto ya shule fulani. Elimu ni ufunguo wa
Maisha.
elimu ni ufunguo wa
Maisha.
maisha. Kwa nini nikakuuliza ufunguo? Chukua tu picha ile ufunguo. Ikiwa nao hapa fukoni.
Imagine.
Ngoja basi. Na imagine na practically, si ndio? Nikiwa na ufunguo wa hii nyumba. Si ndio? Nikifika hapo nje sitoa nje. Nitafungua. Nitaingia ndani. Ule ufunguo utakuwa na kazi tena?
Hapana.
Nitaweka tena wapi? Mfukoni. Nikitaka kutoka kufunga ndio ufunguo utakuwa na nini? Na kazi. Nikitaka kurudi ufunguo utakuwa na nini? Na kazi. Lakini maana yake nikishafungua na kuingia ndani, ufunguo unisaidii mimi kuishi. Au unaweza kuuza ufunguo au unaweza ukapika ufunguo. Yaani tuchukue katika simple nini? Context. Maana yake kuwa na elimu peke yake, yaani elimu ni ufunguo wa maisha, lakini kuna kingine kinachotakiwa kwenye maisha sasa ili uweze kuishi. Ambacho ndo nini? Maarifa na hekima.
Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom. Sawa. Haya. Sasa maarifa maana yake yanakusaidiaje? Nini maana maarifa? Maarifa huwa inapatikana kwenye elimu. Maarifa inachujwa kwenye elimu. Yaani maana yake kwamba maarifa na elimu jinsi ilivyo ni sawa sawa kama chai ukiwa unachemsha hapa kunakuwa na majani ya chai. Sawa? Alafu maana utapata chai ile kama kimiminika bila majani ya chai unakuwa na chujio. Unachuja. Si ndio? Ukishachuja majani ya chai yanabaki, chai inakuepo huku, unaishughulikia ipasavyo. Sawa. Lakini maarifa pia unaweza ukawa nayo, ila unaweza au maarifa inaweza ikawepo lakini usiielewe. Hiyo ni shida nyingine. Na maarifa inaweza ikawepo na ukaielewa lakini usitumie. Hiyo ni shida nyingine. That's the meaning or relationship between knowledge, understanding and the wisdom. What the means of knowledge? Knowledge simply is information. Education is actually opening the door for you to get information. Elimu inakufungulia mlango wa kufanyaje? Kupata taarifa fulani. For example, we are looking for the engineering or electronics engineering information. Right? At the first stage. Then the second stage, there's a two results. Whether to understand the information or not understanding. Right? Once we understand the information, we get something, we call it understanding. Understanding is a process of understanding the particular information. Right? And then now knowledge is superior, or actually even some of the scriptures you say knowledge is supreme. And wisdom ni juu ya kila kitu. Wisdom ni kila kitu. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu knowledge, because wisdom is the applications of understood information. Wisdom ni matumizi ya ile taarifa ambayo umeielewa. Ndio tunaita wisdom au ndio tunaita hekima. Kwa kama una taarifa nyingi sana za electronics, lakini kwanza huzielewi, maana kuna shida. Lakini kama ukielewa taarifa nyingi sana za electronics, sawa, lakini hujui kuzitumia kwenye maisha, maana una elimu, una maarifa, una uelewa, lakini hujui unatumia wapi. Are we together?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes.
For example, this, I'm talking about life. I'm talking about electronics, but I'm talking about life. For example, have you ever seen a smoking doctor? Have you ever seen a smoking doctor or alcohol drinking doctor? Have you ever seen them?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So a smoking doctor, actually, he has information about effects of tobacco. He has so many informations. Maybe even he did even a research about the effects of smoke in our lungs. Right? That's the information. Maybe he understood the information or he did not understand. But let us assume that even a smoking doctor, he understood the information that there are the negative effects of smoke in our lungs. Right? But then you find the same doctor is smoking. So what the problem there? Actually the doctor has understood the information or the effects, the negative effects of the smoke in human lungs, but actually he is not applying. Are we together?
Yes.
Why he is not applying? He or she is not applying? Because he or she is smoking. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay. So the eighth terminology, very important terminology now, is block diagram. Say block diagram.
Block diagram.
Say block diagram.
Block diagram.
I'm still introducing to you about the fundamental of practical engineering electronics. And these are the terminologies that will be dealing with them in different workshops. So the eighth terminology is called the block diagram. Say block diagram.
Block diagram.
Possibly you know the block diagrams in detail, but it's not bad for you to review yourself, every time. Because I told you in workshop 1 that you as engineer or technician, you have to be an art person. So you should be art, because engineering is art. You should love drawings, right? You should love how you plan and think in terms of drawings. And the one way that I do love electronics engineering myself, and I would like also to induce this spirit to you, is thinking, or whenever I encounter any real life problems, I used to split it into small blocks. Whenever I find a new motherboards of electronics equipment, of electronics device, of electronics consumer electronics or consumer products, then I have to think about that motherboards or that systems in terms of blocks. Right? In terms of 40 blocks. That's the one way of thinking. And this is the fundamental way of thinking. Are we together? So now, let us ask you first of all, what is block diagram? Because you'll hear this word from now in your ordinary diploma studies or undergraduate studies until the PhD. We ask you, what are the block diagrams of your design? What are the block diagrams of your implementation? And for you, you just know how to draw block diagrams, but you don't know what is it. Okay? Yeah. So ask yourself, what is block diagram? Why should we not only call it diagram? Why do you call it a block? Block diagrams. What is it? Okay. Have you ever heard about block diagram?
Yes.
Are you expert in that?
Yes.
Do you used to think about block diagrams?
Yes.
Sure. Can you give me one problem that you used to think in terms of block diagram? I have some local students now. Promise, can you give me at least one problem that you used to think about the block diagram? Huh? Promise is not here. Promise is not here. Okay, so let us define, then I will tell you something which is actual that will build your mindset. So a block diagram is a diagram in schematic form from the general arrangement. From the general arrangement of the parts or components of complex system, or components of complex systems or processes. Such as an industrial apparatus or an electronic circuit.